literally 32 minutes ago. We're going to end the stream on a high note. I think this might be a high note. Greg Popovich in full 4K glory. This is actually really good picture. What the heck is going on? What kind of camera is that? It seemed like Spurs really updated their cameras after getting Wemby, didn't they? So we're going to take a look at what Popovich has to say. Didn't really care to look at anything like last game because we were too depressed. But I think that this is fine to listen to what he has to say here, especially since, hey, that's another 2 losses in the books. And I'm sure reporters have some questions. Now, before we get into this, before we listen to Popovich in his glory, just really quickly, guys, if you guys want to support the channel, you support this sponsor and you support this channel, you support this live stream, you support us for the majority of the season, all you have to do is head on over to BetUS. I'm going to let BetUS take it away because they have some things to say to you guys, and then I will tell you a little bit about it. Did my camera just my camera just jumped? I have no idea what that was.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
All right, so BetUS, big shout out to BetUS. So if you guys are interested at all when it comes to the betting world, because it is a beautiful world, all you guys have to do, you head on over to BetUS. Link in my description. You will receive a 125% bonus. All you have to do is just sign up. Link in my description. It's right there, and you will automatically get that. And what does that mean? That means if you put in $100, you get $125 free to play with. And on BetUS site, you go over here. You just take a look at it really quick. We look at it so many times, but it is a really good site. So you go to basketball here, and you scroll on down, and there's so many different things to bet on, okay? Internationally, but I always show my favorite, and it's this NBA championship winner. Let's see if it's changed at all. No, our chances have not changed at all. But as you can see here, if you wanted to bet on the San Antonio Spurs winning the championship for some reason, let's just say we put in $25, you will win a lot of money. You win $12,500 if the San Antonio Spurs were to win the championship, and the risk is $25. Now, something that's probably a little bit more likely, let's just see something that's probably a pretty good bet. I think Miami would be a pretty nice one, right? Let's see. What's the same? If we do a risk of 25, 1,000. I think that's pretty doggone good. So if $25, that's $1,000. If they were to win the championship, and I don't think that's too far off. That's a pretty decent one right there. But anyways, if you guys want to support the channel and you also are interested, please head on over to BetUS. Link in my description. Great stuff. All right, let's take a look at this. You guys are talking about the Pistons. I'm sorry for getting us on the Pistons topic earlier. All right, let's listen to what Popovich has to say. Should I put... I was going to say I was going to put closed captions on, but there aren't any closed captions. Okay. I didn't hear a word you said. Hold on.
Because you guys had a couple of prolonged scoring roles in the second half. What do you think the guys dealt with that or responded?
You guys had some scoring lulls. How have you dealt with that? I think that's what he said.
Great back-to-back effort.
Oh my goodness. What the heck? Where's the mic? Oh my goodness.
The same bugaboos keep cropping up. 20 turnovers for 24 points. Really puts us behind the 8 ball. And we have a lot of undisciplined fouls to shot 12 more free throws. So those are the 2 things that they just got to figure it out. They got to take it. There's no drills for that. I don't know any no turnover drills.
That's a really good point from Pop. Yeah, that is a really good point. I didn't even think about that. Like, that's another argument that we can use against some of these people that are like Pop haters for obvious reasons that have nothing to do with basketball. This right here. So, and by the way, if you guys are spamming anything in the comments that's related to Popovich that has nothing to do with basketball, why you hate him, you're instantly banned from the channel. Like, I instantly hide you from the channel. Like, I do this all the time, okay? Like, I am totally open for any for any comments, like any criticisms. I'm open for that. But once you get into the territory of saying, you know, some BS that has nothing to do with basketball, yeah, that's when you're gone, buddy. That's how we do it around now. But anyways, Greg Popovich, though. Perfect thing to say. So, yeah, so this whole thing where I kept saying that I felt as if the Spurs just lack experience, and there's kind of nothing that the coaches can do about that necessarily other than keep coaching them up, keep telling them the same thing. Wemby has even said himself, once we come into our own, once we start doing what the coaches tell us to do, then, you know, we'll start being successful. It's just one of those things where when you're starting to create a habit, it's tough to create a habit. It takes time, right? And it's definitely not going to be created within, you know, 20 games. It's going to take a little minute before those habits start to set in. And then it doesn't help the fact that you're going against really tough talent most nights thus far. But it should get a little bit easier as the season goes on now. But it was really tough beginning of the season. With that being said, like Popovich said, there's no drills for that. There's nothing you can necessarily do to prevent that other than guys have to start being more mindful, start listening, start making it more of a habit. That's it. Basketball criticism is fine. It is. I'm curious how long you think Pop got before retirement. 79. I think he'll retire once he's 79. I mean, which is he signed that 5-year deal, so yeah. I think he signed that 5-year deal and he's like legitimately done after that. And I think that's enough time for us to kind of figure things out as far as who will be the next Popovich's protege. I don't know. Successor, sorry.
No foul calls. It's judgment. It's decision making. You know, we're not good at it right now, so it makes it difficult. But the effort was there, as I said, especially.
Dude. Me and Popovich watching the same game. Me and Popovich are watching the same game. We're both on the couch watching these games together. That's what I said. The effort is there. People like bring up random things. It's like, and I know it makes it difficult. And I said this before, that a lot of times it makes it difficult for fans when you don't have someone to point at, right? Like, it's very, like, for instance, me as a Cowboys fan, for years, I could just point at Jerry Jones, like, pretty much, right? Like, the decisions that he's made, his ego always getting in the way, the types of coaches that he brings along. Like, yeah, it's Jerry, right? Like, I could point the finger and say it's Jerry Jones. And that's nice, right? It's nice to be able to talk to other Cowboys fans and we both can agree and be pretty, well, no, we don't always agree. Cowboys fans are kind of crazy. But it is cathartic when you can talk to other Cowboys fans. We both can, like, hate on one person together. But with the Spurs, unfortunately, it's not as simple as you think. It's not just Popovich. It's not just lineups. It's not just one player. It's not. It's the whole experience. Okay, it's the experience of the entire team. That's what it is. They just have to create habits. They have to get better. But it's not Popovich. It's not the lineups. And one thing that irked me, dude, it drove me crazy because I got so many people sending me a message about this. Do you guys remember? Don't remember who we were playing. I'm sorry. My memory is terrible, but I do remember what was said. It was not Sean. I think it was Reggie Miller. It was Reggie Miller, and Reggie Miller said, and if I'm wrong, if it's another commentator that said it, you guys let me know. But Reggie Miller said, if you replace Jeremy Sohan with Trey Jones, you win games. Brilliant. Beautiful. Brilliant. That is not true whatsoever. Like, he just brought up a stat where it showed Trey Jones plays better with Wemby and then just automatically said that equates to wins right there. And, like, completely taking out of context the fact that Trey Jones, when he's played with Wemby, was against units that weren't as difficult as the units that Sohan has played with Wemby as well. Just completely take out any nuance there and just blatantly said on national television that if Trey Jones plays, you win. And it was so many people sending me that and saying, see, even Reggie said, and it's like, dude, come on. Like, come on. Very frustrating. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Reggie. I'm sorry. That was Richard Jefferson. Thank you, Ruru. Thank you so much. Okay, Richard Jefferson said that. Yes, you're right. Yeah, not Reggie Miller. I'm sorry. It wasn't Reggie Miller. It was Richard Jefferson. Thank you. Yeah, it was just so frustrating, dude. So frustrating. Think Denver game he said that? Yeah, it was so dumb, dude. It really pissed me off because I'm like, oh my God, they're just taking like Twitter comments and just putting it on TV. And now everyone that hasn't watched the Spurs all season just think it's as simple as just plug in this player and you win these games. That was so frustrating.
I thought Charles Bassett was fantastic tonight. He was great. Everything he did.
Pop had his one positive was what I said, and it was Bassey was good. That's it.
Charles's energy, can that be infectious to people?
Yeah, I think they really appreciate it. He excites them when he blocks a shot or makes a play of some sort. He's really respected.
Did you know much about him when you brought him in last year?
I knew nothing. Obviously, our scouts knew something, so they did a good job.
Pop has said this as well. I think this is probably. I don't know if this worked. This hasn't really been the criticism as of late now that we got Wemby, but it was the criticism last season. Everyone keeps saying Popovich need to make this move. Popovich need to do that. And in actuality, the reason why the Spurs work so well is because there isn't this necessarily like authoritarian approach. Like Popovich does have like a say-so in things, right? Like they're getting ready to trade someone, they're going to tell Popovich about it. They're getting ready to make a move. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to tell Popovich about it. But Popovich has even said himself, the front office does their thing and I do my job. I coach whoever's in front of me. And that's the best way they can go about it. That's the most functional way. If Popovich start putting his ego in it and saying, okay, now I'm going to be in this room. All right. Yeah, you scouts. Yeah, I hear you. But I've been watching this kid out of Notre Dame. No, that's not happening. He's not doing that. Right. So I don't know why I said Notre Dame, but you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah, he's not doing that.
Hi, we are Catedral de Bortilla from Santiago de Chile.
Okay.
And welcome. Thank you. And
we say Pop knows there's some truth to it. He already says Trey knows how to pace the offense and set the players. Jeremy does not and doesn't seem to focus on it when he's primary point guard. Well, as of the last two games, Jeremy Sohan hasn't really ran a lot of point guard, but yeah, Ruru, I mean, no one disagrees with that. Everyone knows that Trey Jones is a better point guard than Jeremy Sohan. All I'm trying to say is it's not as simple as bench Sohan, play Trey, and you win. Like, nothing is that simple. I mean, unless we're talking about a like legitimate superstar talent, like is Trey Jones Dame or something? Like, is he Steph Curry? It's like, yeah, sit Sohan, play Steph Curry, and you win. Yeah, sure, but like it's very few players that it's going to work like that, right? Like, and Jeremy Sohan, that's another thing. He doesn't just bring to the game assist or facilitate for his teammates. There's a lot of things that he does on the court that makes it very difficult for defenses. And there's a lot of things he does on the defensive end that's huge as well. So it's not as simple as sit this player, play this player, you win. And that's what made me so angry about it, because it's not real. That's not real. That's not how that's going to work. And it comes from people that just haven't really watched the Spurs at all. It's really frustrating.
Came from Chile, so you have spent your career training players from around the world. You train Manu Ginobili. Can you tell us what's the difference between train Latin players from the rest of the world?
No difference whatsoever.
So eBay said, what's the difference between training? That's a weird way of saying it. It's probably like an English barrier. Coaching Latino players and non-Latin players or whatnot. Or Latin players. I think that's what he said.
It's basketball, no matter how you slice it. Same fundamentals, win and lose, whether you have the fundamentals or you don't. Talent is important. Skills are important. Heart is important. And, you mentioned Manu. He had skills, he had heart, tenacity. All those things are the same, whether you're from Chile or Argentina, Bolivia,
it's universal.
Or Massachusetts in the United States.
It's universal. Yeah.
I think there's a chance right now that the game is more global. to find new biggest stars that are coming from South America?
Well, it's already global, for sure. And I think that South America doesn't have as many players as Europe, but I think as time goes on, it will explode there just like it has in other parts of the world, I'm sure.
Yeah, good stuff. So let me address what Serge said here in the chat. He says, I've never seen a basketball team. Oh, sorry. Let me read your first comment. This team is without defined hierarchy. Popovich still hasn't made it clear to them who is the first option, the second option. I think he wants the players to understand this for themselves. I've never seen a basketball team win without hierarchy. And you can bet that when the hierarchy is defined, Sohan, Vassell, and Keldon will greatly increase the numbers of assists they make in games. I mean, for sure. But I don't necessarily, like, obviously, right, Wemby is the hierarchy. And I know what you're saying. Like, yeah, it's going to happen naturally. Popovich isn't going to just come out the woodwork and say, give it to this guy, everyone get out the way. It's just going to happen. When you're that guy, right? Same thing with Tim Duncan. He was just that guy. Like, you knew right off the bat. He's just that guy. And there's nothing that Popovich could have said personally to those already older veterans on that team on give it to him, get out the, like, there's nothing he could have said. Like, so it just has to naturally happen. And I think as it goes on, Wemby defines his game a little bit more, it'll happen. But Wemby is getting a ton of touches. I think it's a group effort. I don't necessarily think, because I know what you're saying, but I don't necessarily think it's like a who wants to be the alpha dog type of situation. I think they're all just trying to win. They don't really care who's the alpha in any given game. It's just as time goes on, kind of like you said, that it just happen naturally. Wemby will be the guy, and the second option is Devin. But right now, I think the team as a whole is giving Devin the ball quite often, try to make things happen. I mean, he is really keeping our head above water in a lot of these games, and same as Wemby, right? And it'll just happen with due time. I don't think it's anything to really worry about. But yeah, you're right though. There's usually a hierarchy. I mean, not usually. There's always a hierarchy for the most part. There's very few teams where, you know, it's such an even team and everyone's contributing in some type of way, some type of fashion. Like what you got, like the Detroit Pistons of 04. Anyone else? That's kind of, I mean, the closest thing, maybe Spurs 2020 or 2014. But even then, you know, Duncan's that guy. If you absolutely just need a basket, you could probably still go to Duncan. But yeah, you just don't tank if you have the number one pick. That is the rule. Tanking means that you don't trust or even impress in your number one pick. Coach needs to try and win as many games as possible. I think he's trying it. This isn't a tank. Like, I feel like last season, like the tank for last season, right, was from the head honchos, right? It was from Brian Wright. When you trade away DeJounte Murray, trade away Derek White the season prior, like they knew what they were doing. They were going into full on tank. The players were still playing hard, but if someone had a little, you know, little knee issue or whatever, you're sitting out. Keldon legitimately, oh not Keldon, I'm sorry. Vassell legitimately was hurt. But yeah, it's just, you just weren't going to win with Keldon Johnson being your main guy. Like, there was no way. Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan being a rookie, you're not going to win games with those two being your main guy throughout the season. That was a tank. That was a tank from the front office. So it was a very natural tank. Now, right now, I don't think that that's the case. Right now, the Spurs are just playing it out, right? Like, they're just going through with the plan that was initially that you tank, you got your superstar talent, and now you kind of see what you got. You still don't know because a lot of guys that you picked up in the draft prior were guys that could fit on any team, any given system. That's just how that is. And yeah, now it's a matter of you got some mismatch players here. You know, you're trying to see Wemby's going to develop and what, I mean, he's going to develop in what he got to be, but you know, once he can come into his own and be a legitimate threat, like maybe 30-point threat any given night. That's not necessarily the case yet, but I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm babbling now, but you get what I'm saying though. Like, they're losing a lot of games, but this isn't a tank. This is just going through with the plan. Like there's nothing. I don't think there's anything the Spurs could have done thus far that would change anything. Also, we can't even trade anybody till what, December 15th or something? Like, it's nothing they can do anyways. Random injuries. Oh wait, we are definitely tanking. Think about it. We're having the same third quarter problems. Always start good and then lose. So do you think that Popovich is telling, because I feel like at that point it's kind of conspiracy. Like, do you think Popovich is telling these guys, hey, third quarter, don't make adjustments? Or I don't think that's the case. I think Pop really is trying to win. It's just that our personnel, they're just too inconsistent. But that third quarter problem, I mean, I get what you're saying. It was a problem last season as well. But I do think overall this team, even though the record isn't showing, I do believe that this team is better than it was last season. They're having more stretches that I sit back and I'm impressed by, even more so than last season. So December 15th, yeah? Okay, cool. So that's when you can start trading. So, like, there's nothing they could have done now, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Spurs did make some type of trade. It won't be some huge trade. I wouldn't do something crazy. I wouldn't go out and get Zach LaVine or nothing, but I just wouldn't be surprised. Third quarter been the issue since 2018. It's been an issue for a while, for sure. But last season it was really rough. But we'll see. I think, hold on, before we end this segment off, let's take a look at Spurs upcoming games. Because I think, oh, you guys can't see, sorry. I think this is fine to look at. All right, Bulls, you should win this game. You're at home. It's the Chicago Bulls. Good guy win this game. Timberwolves, yeah, we should win this game too, hopefully. Because Timberwolves, that was the in-season tournament. We barely lost. I think the Spurs should win this. So I knew that they should have beat the Hawks. That game was so close, but I think right now this is when you get things going. You beat the Timberwolves, you get the ball rolling, you beat the Bulls, and then you got them Rockets, baby. You got them Rockets. Them Rockets fans been talking a lot of smack. And a lot of people are going to watch. Oh, thank God these Spurs versus Lakers games are at San Antonio. God, thank God, dude. Thank God. I did not want to stay up till like midnight watching that game. We ain't winning against the Bulls. I think we should win against the Bulls. You don't think we'll win against the Bulls? I don't know what makes you think we wouldn't win against the Bulls. What are the Bulls' overall record? 6-14. 6-14. Oh my. How are the... Oh my God. This is why you give it time, guys. Give us one more year. Oh my goodness. I didn't even realize how well the Orlando Magic were doing. That's pretty awesome. Good for Ben Carroll, man. What do you have in this game? This is why you give them a year. Oh my goodness. 28.7 assists, 13 rebounds. This is why you give your superstar rookies, your superstar caliber rookies a year, okay? Just give them a minute, all right? Jeez, guys. Give them a minute. Give Wemby a year. That's a beautiful thing to see. That gives me some hope. Good job, Orlando. Anyways, I'll get with you guys later with this one. Segment ending.